This one day changed our lives forever. We would henceforth never take the truth lightly. This happened almost 10 years ago. I and my brother along with our parents set off to our ancestral home after 5 years of living in the States and never going back to see our grandparents. It was a very special occasion, and my uncles and aunts and our cousins also decided to meet up with us in our old house where our grandmother lived alone. The house was made of very old materials, teak trees, mahoganies, and strong rocks. We also had a forest adjacent to our house. The property was so big it would take you hours to actually go around the whole property, and the forest especially seemed to go endless. Our first time visiting the place, we were very excited. My mother was showing us around her home and telling us how she was close with her grandmother, so she got to hear all the interesting stories from her. We later that day was sitting with our grandmother talking to her when she suddenly sprung it on us. Do you kids know? In this house, there lived a young girl in our family who would love to go into that forest, and she wouldn't come back for days. Her parents, our ancestors, would look for her everywhere and never find her. Then, she would come out of that forest like nothing happened and would forget all about it. One day her sister sneaked in behind her to see where she was disappearing, and what she saw shocked her to the core that she never woke up again. She would stay in this house forever. What did she see, Grandma? We asked, and she said she saw her sister dance with a man. But this wasn't an ordinary man. He could change his form at will. In 1 second he will be a golden goose, the next a beautiful man, and then the next the snake living in the forest. She would dance around with him for hours and never get tired. But when the creature caught a waft of another teenage girl, he left the sister to catch the younger one. He looked at the younger sister with his golden eyes and smiled at her. It is said that after that day they formed a bond that nobody could break, and in return she would inherit all the wealth that ever lay in this family. The elder sister went on to live away from home after her marriage, and the younger one lived here till her end. And that is why this house is always passed on from a mother to her daughter, because it's cursed, and the creature doesn't like it when a man owns his palace. He kills him immediately. That evening when we went to visit the grove with my parents, I took a glance at a pond nearby, and a tortoise caught my eye. It had golden scales, and it walked faster than a tortoise should, and when it saw that I was staring at it, it stared right back at me with its golden eyes and smiled at me.